Hello, today is November the 11th, 2022. Happy Veterans Day to myself. Didn't feel like it, but it's another story. Um, I'm putting together this particular video. There's complicity to it, where one subject will go off into another subject, and another one, and another one, and another one. And that's not my intentions, but this is how things end up. And purpose of this video, I'm asking the American peoples for their help. We dire need of legal assistance. There's some particular cases I'm going to tell you about. I would like for you all to be part of the jury to make the decision. Given this United States federal government, the tyranny of this United States federal government, deeds of privacy to institutionally discriminate. Never in my life could I imagine I'll be charged in my country with solicitation of murder. There were some issues going on prior to President Joe Biden becoming current president of the United States. This is my introduction to this video, this particular video. There were some issues that was going on before the Biden administration. However, you know, these are impeachable offenses as well. I wrote the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, on 3 separate occasions. President Joe Biden stated, if I go back to the United Nations, we'll just kill him. Boy, this is amazing. But anyway, I want to tell American people, you would be surprised the money the United States federal government owes me right now today. There was an $8.5 million purse that was left behind under the Obama administration during his lame duck session that Senator Dick Durbin aided and abetted. They didn't know my whereabouts. They have video footage of my whereabouts. They have taken a car from me, separated family. All of this is pain and suffering. It's like psychological torment. And I'm gonna end this video. The introduction of this video. Now I'm gonna proceed with the video. This is amazing. Bear with me 1 second. Best is unprepared, unscripted. People, please forgive me. This is not just a video. This is I must market this. Publicize. I've given the United States federal government 30 years of privacy for superior institutional racism. The United States Supreme Court is aware of this. The U.S. Treasury Department is aware of this. The Department of Defense is aware of this. It's amazing. Anyway, let me ask for some requests here. My name is Ricardo Haynes. I have this E-Trade account, and I'm asking the American peoples to help donate and fund to this account. I do not authorize the taking down of this video. I presented another video on Facebook. I think it was September 25th of 2020. Had a case at the United States Supreme Court. It's very interesting. I'm asking American people to donate to this account. This account number is an E-Trade account. Even though I'm asking for this, U.S. Treasury Department still have control over these accounts. The Federal Reserve still have control over these accounts. I'm going to ask for it anyway. This account number, E-Trade account, is 524-89993. American people, I ask you to donate. These people has robbed me blind. Before I even get into this Supreme Court stuff, presently, right now in the District of Columbia, there's 3 life insurance policies of mine that has come up missing. The premiums has been paid off. 3 of them. Called the representative here in the District of Columbia. They say they surrendered my life insurance. You don't have the right to surrender my life insurance policy. These are directives from the U.S. Treasury Department and the Social Security Administration. But I gave you this account number. I would like, if any funding do come in now, which the United States federal government will hate most dearly, I'm transferring that account on U.S. soil over into an international account, because for the simple fact, right now, U.S. Treasury Department is extorting me. Maybe federal account, oh man, banking. This is beyond banking fraud. These people here is part of a banking cartel. Cool. Anyway, American peoples, I had a case on appeal. A United States Supreme Court case that was on appeal from the Veterans Administration, Haynes versus Wilkie. The case number was 2019-1535. I repeat, the case number was 2019-1535. I presented this video to Antonio Guterres, and if there was a response or if there was a correspondence, I didn't receive any of the mail. See, no correspondence. Mail's being intercepted. Anyway, this case once again, 2019-1535. People's gonna have to excuse me for a second. I have some minute interruption. I will come back to you briefly here due to interruption. This is Jesus. Anyway, I'm returning back to this video. This case was on an appeal from the, hold on. Let me back them up a little bit. American peoples, I need your help. I ask you for your help. Most of you all are gonna say, I can't help you with this. You're on your own. And it's understandable. It's true. I can't do it by myself. I need your help. I need you all to forward this video out to all news outlets, USA Today, New York Times. You want to go international news, Asian, BBC, World News, fling it out. This video is presently being marketed and marketed solely by me. If any proceeds, sir, I was doing the video. Motherfucker come out of nowhere. I decided to do this video. There's a butler in prison before me. I was not expecting him. This interruption, this time and moment. I'm dealing with psychological torment. Psychological torment. Anyway, this E-Trade account. Please, everyone know, I'm not organized. But bear with me. This E-Trade account, 524-89993. It's my E-Trade account. Please feel free to donate. And American peoples, I need your help legally to send this out to all media outlets. CNN News, New York Times, USA Today, PBS. I would like to also market this over to the Smithsonian Institution. Oh, these people's. I have some political enemies in this nation that's gonna amaze you all. This E-Trade account here, American peoples. I demand Senator Dick Durbin's resignation from the U.S. Senate. He don't get to serve the rest of his term out due to the institutional racism and the lies. He had a case that was on a VA appeal that made it all the way to the United States Supreme Court. The United States Supreme Court decided they didn't want to hear the case. Violation of my due process. I didn't ask for no judge decision alone. Oh, I demand a jury. Give me my fair shot. I demand a jury, ain't no judge alone. United States Supreme Court didn't want to hear the case. American people, you're going to be amazed at the monetary value of this case, along with unilateral damages. I'm dealing with a lot of other distractions. This case here, 2019-1535, that went before the United States Supreme Court. The moment I asked case manager Clayton Higgins if I could have the college students represent me as legal assistant, they dismissed the case. I was there by myself. Can't do it by myself. I need y'all help. All of this nonsense is in reference to me being held as a prisoner of war in Iraq. The ironic part about this, the prisoner of war status was not conducted by the enemy. It was conducted by my own U.S. peoples. According to the rules of law, the United States is in violation. American people, they owe me so much money. I'm surprised I'm still, a lawyer tells me, I'm surprised you still walking. I said, what? They don't follow the rule of law. United States Supreme Court, I'm in disagreement with this. I've exhausted all domestic remedies, so I proceed further. United States Supreme Court stated that they don't have jurisdiction over this case. I didn't argue, I didn't get bent out of shape with them. People like, I felt bad. Some people like, come on, keep pushing. After a while, you get tired of wrestling or arguing with the United States Supreme Court, and passed up on a opportunity to receive the truth. Just one-sided, everything done ex parte out of me, any of these people. Senator Dick Durbin, I demand his resignation. Senator Dick Durbin withheld a $8.5 million financial purse that was left for me when President Obama lame duck session. They changed the rule. Supreme Court didn't want to hear the case on the grounds of jurisdiction because they came through on the VA. This is the Department of Defense. The VA is an arm under the Department of Defense. They gave them directives to do certain things, still doing certain things right now. To me, I've been placed on a U.S. federal hit, not only by the Department of Defense for me being a prisoner of war by my own peoples and my own country. You got to be afraid to live in your country, and you got to be afraid to die in your country. Married people, you better brace yourselves for Armageddon. They're going to make it look beautiful and peaceful. It's not. Beginning the year 2023. The money they owe me, Senator Dick Durbin. I demand Senator Dick Durbin pay restitution to this account here. To this E-Trade account in an amount of $8.5 million by stating he didn't know where my whereabouts were at. Or they had no communication. All of this is a bald-faced lie. They have archived things over to the, what was that? The National Archives, the Justice Department, National Archives of Records. There was video footage of me in my property, invasion of privacy, my car, posted it all on the internet, made money off of it. I request those funds as well to this account. The Supreme Court appears not to know how to do accounting no more of the monetary value of these cases. Senator Dick Durbin withheld an $8.5 million financial purse on the grounds of my whereabouts is unknown, but they have all this information pertaining to me and presented it before the Supreme Court. And on the grounds of the Immune Justice Department say I don't have a right to review, have a right to see anything. This is unilateral. This is tyranny. And if I keep speaking up about it and demanding justice, I'm gonna die. So my country, I charge with solicitation of murder. There's been all sorts of labels. I'm gonna interrupt you for a second. There's been all sorts of labels like, what's that word? Narcissism, anti-Semitism, war. Planet Earth is amazing. Whatever you want to call it. Whatever the name of this foundation that you call Earth is amazing. It's like you just had a brain freeze. American peoples, this video, send this out to Antonio Guterres at the United Nations. Because the American government has stated that if I write the United Nations again, that they're going to kill me. That's been said a long time ago. I'm not challenging it, and I'm not trying to pursue it. I've asked for political asylum. Haven't heard any response. I have not received any response. Let me correct. I have not received any response, but I have heard certain response. All of this is via wiretap. However, United States Supreme Court once again has missed their opportunity to receive the truth. They don't have jurisdiction over this. In my opinion, they are not judges. These are Caesars. They get angry. So I've exhausted all domestic remedies. So the next step is to go to the United Nations. What law is I'm violating where you got to kill me for something you have done wrong? I demand restitution. I demand Senator Dick Durbin pay the $8.5 million his constituent, Danny Lakes, from out of Florida, Illinois, under the Obama administration with Sergeant Major Charles Bowers, conducted a program to track down all U.S. veterans. I was on the list. It's amazing. I'm still here breathing right now to this day. Oh, death. American peoples, I'm on death row. Oh, I was held as a prisoner of war in Iraq by my own U.S. citizens, and there's a conspiracy to cover up. And this is really the domination of everything. The Department of Defense, under the White House umbrella. This is the deep state here. They're making these decisions from out of the White House. They've been in these positions for over 3 previous U.S. presidents. Not just Trump, not just President Biden, not just President Obama. These has been previous presidents. These people have been up under on the grounds of jurisdiction. This is what they call the deep state. They're the ones making these decisions. They're the ones who have given these directives to euthanize. All this label, name calling. On the grounds of narcissism. I have a brother by the name of Marlon Haynes. He's a U.S. Air Force mechanic. Died over in the Philippine Islands. The United States federal government murdered him. Turned around and lied and said it was COVID. At the time, I'm on the phone talking with my sister. Complicity of this video. I hear gentlemen states that keep me occupied with this. When I called the VA didn't have no information. I wrote Congressman Eleanor Norton Holmes. She was in the process of launching an investigation. I told them to cease, hold off on the investigation, because they were sending it over to the VA. The VA administration is the ones that did this. The same ones that's doing things to me right now. Like they're eradicating racing off a family. The directive been given to euthanize me. Back to my brother, Marlon Haynes. Social Security number is 319-643320. The Filipino government robbed him of all his assets. He had 3 motorcycles, he had a condo, he had a bank account. He had sued this U.S. Air Force general, sued him for running him over on his bicycle, and a pickup truck ran him over on his bicycle. He sued him and won the case. Left, went to the Philippines. They track you down like a dog. They said there was no family contact. This gentleman by the name of Neil Anderson with the American Legion, I asked him to be eradicated from all U.S. government professional agencies and institutions. Eradicated from most definitely. Never ever could work because he's working with some sort of murderous fraternity, sorority, secret society. These people's wrong. They said there was no family contact. They spoke to me, my sister, the baby mama. There's 2 birth certificates floating around in the Philippines. We had all these conversations, and I have documentation. His funding, his assets, his bank accounts. This person in the family should be able to inherit as my sister, Cheryl Hay, next in the family. They say they take everything. Take everything. This is me trying to like verify or trying to break up these psychological terms that has been presented to me, like you're a narcissist, you this and you that. So I don't have nothing to prove to nobody. This happened in the Biden administration. And if anybody say anything about this, they're gonna be fired. All right? They're gonna be fired. So the United States federal government must answer to that. Not only that, in addition to the individual's solicitation towards my murder. Anyway, back to my case here. United States Supreme Court. The case came in on an appeal from the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. Yep. U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals dismissed the case on technicality and never told me what the technicality was. This case number here, to the U.S. Court of Appeals, (2019) 5035. Nope, this case here. You people's gotta excuse me. Unprepared. U.S. Appeals Court. Yep, 19-15-35 was the U.S. Appeals Court case number. The United States Supreme Court case number. I gave you the wrong United States Supreme Court. This is the U.S. Court of Appeals case. It went to the Supreme Court. The U.S. Court of Appeals case was 2019-15-35. And when it got to the United States Supreme Court, it had a different docket, different case number to it. Yeah, 1535 is U.S. Appeals Court number. I'll get you the Supreme Court number real shortly, real briefly here. Senator Dick Durbin withheld the mail. $8.5 million purse. United States federal government owes me that. They owe me that money. They say they saying over their dead body before they pay me another penny. He said over his dead body before they pay me another penny. This gentleman is at the White House. This is the one that's telling Joe Biden what to do. Kamala Harris. This is you talking about power. Demonic power. Is at the United States White House. All these orders coming from. To euthanize me, for them to murder me, to deny me of all funds. American people, I was held as a prisoner of war. In restitution, I'm asking for a $3.5 billion package. A restitution package, $3.5 billion for the damage, the psychological torment I have been through. The Federal Credit Union has lied. Took a $100,000 car away from me when they should have written it off. Got the documentation. I can't post everything on video footage. $3.5 billion is what I'm asking for. I've given my country the opportunity. It's already definitely, there's 4 nations I'm going to before the UN, before Antonio Guterres. That way, it's a conflict of interest for Antonio Guterres to hear the case coming straight from me from out of the United States. Other nations must be involved. And if the United States attempt to speak up, as long as I'm still breathing, I demand a motion for a sidebar before them. They is not even allowed to speak. This $3.5 billion package that I'm actually the United States federal government for, before taxpayers pay any penny, take everything from Secretary of Defense Dick Cheney, all stocks, all bonds, houses, corporations. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. Solicitation of murder to my death. And his generals that falls up under him. Coming all the way down to the peoples that I was around. Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Alder, he's now deceased. Sergeant Major Charles Bowles came back on the Track All Veterans Down program. He's been behind. Both federal hits I've been placed upon. Placed upon a federal hit by the U.S. government in '92 when I left the military for them holding me prisoner of war. Come up out of that. 2016, I was granted 100% schedule rate, VA rate. Sergeant Major Bowles came back to retaliate under Obama's track down all U.S. veterans. Came back to retaliate against that. And put me on another federal hit. As of right now here in the District of Columbia, 3 life insurance policy missings after the premiums didn't pay. They just stole a $100,000 car and broke my thumb and tell me I'm not going through pain and suffering as U.S. citizen. American people, please fund my account. The Smithsonian Institution. This uniform I have on is the true Desert Storm uniform. I don't like to bid this off. This is not to be worn. This is to be on display as auction. Starting price for me and me only. Starting price is at $1.5 million. If you don't have the money, don't even begin to even think. Try to stop it. You can send it to this E-Trade account number 524-89993. Send this uniform over. And the United States don't want a person, maybe the Saudis or maybe another country, and put it in their museum. I was held as a prisoner of war based on false accusation. Other entities involved falls in the U.S. Justice Department. 19, 20 years of age, went to the military. It said that I was a mob boss. Then I went from a mob boss to being a disturbed youth. I'm hearing this from current administration now, President via wire top telephone. Let's go public. We're going to murder them. American peoples, I need your help. This video, send this over to Fox News, Washington Post, New York Times. Individuals not to interfere with this video. I'm never going to take this video down. I'm the sole owner of it. Anybody take this video down, it's come from the directors from out of the White House. These are foul individuals. I demand these individuals, justice be rendered to them, for them to be stripped of their government clearances. All government federal clearance. Strip them. Sergeant Major Charles Bowles, Captain Bilkel, which now lives in Florida, was initially from Macon, Georgia. First Sergeant LaSalle, which lives in San Francisco, which was initially from Macon, Georgia. He had me in the war zone, no weapon. And if I say anything or speak up, you're going to put a round in the back of my head. No leadership, none whatsoever. I don't know how I survived Desert Storm. They left me in the desert for dead. Get out my vehicle. Gunpoint. Oh. And they still coming right now today. This don't stop. This isn't to death do you part. If I survive anything, I don't know how I'm still breathing. They ain't already tried. 3 assassination attempts in Chicago under Senator Dick Durbin. I demand his resignation immediately. Peoples, please give me a call. My phone number is area code 279-1255. Don't even, and my enemies, please do not call pretending like you want to get close and want to help me. You're not welcome. There's something about me, I'll feel you. Many, many stinking miles away. I feel you. Please stay away from me. American people, I prefer college students to take my case to the United Nations. United States, Antonio Guterres won't be complying with any more of the United States demands and lies. For nations. So I won't be charged with no treason or anything like this. And I'm willing to withdraw this proposal until these individuals come sit down with me. The individuals I'm talking about is Justice John Roberts at the United States Supreme Court. He was threatened. If he took that case, he was done, he was through. Who has that type of power? The deep state. Sitting at the White House. Been sitting under 4 different presidents. It's only 27 people that run this country. He's one of them. Terroristic threats towards me, my family. 2016 in Chicago, the ideology at the time, the Department of Defense was to take me to Cape Cod and dismember my body and throw it off at sea. And throw it off at the sea, the ocean. Never be seen, never be heard again. To cut me and my son up. These are the death threats I have heard. So, we walked through the valley of shadow of death. I came here to D.C. Had a perfect credit score. My credit score been dinged, they lied. Internal Revenue Service won't tell me. Where this money is coming from. I'm going to get into that video after this one. This is the U.S. Treasury issue. This is what happened. A whistleblower case happened. A whistleblower case happened while this President Obama tracked down all U.S. veteran cases was going on. Investigations were going on. Senator Dick Durbin. Yeah, broke into a family house. Broke into the family house. Broke a family up. Everybody's dying. They have given orders to euthanize me. I need help. I can't do this by myself. Smithsonian Institution had his uniform for sale. $1.5 million. For me being held as a prisoner of war. I asked the United States federal government for $3.5 billion with the B. $1 billion. Before taxpayers pay anything, you take everything from China, his generals, Saw Major Bow, land, assets, whatever it is they have. Matter of fact, they can raise the price up on whatever it is they own. Hijack the price. I know what costs what. I'll let you double it up just a little bit. You say this is worth value, this, but really it's not. This is what you could get off of, but I don't have time to be wishing on a star. All of that. 3.5 billion. Then the whistleblower case. United States Supreme Court, U.S. Court of Appeals. They didn't forget how to do calculation now. They don't know how to do accounting no more. The monetary value of this case is in the trillions of dollars. I said I was going to get off the video, but let me proceed. Since I'm on monetary U.S. Treasury issue. U.S. Treasury, there was a whistleblower case. Let alone me being held as a prisoner of war in Iraq in 93. This happened like 2014, 2015. And it rolled over in 2016 all the way up until now. Pure extortion. The tyranny of this government. For those that's listening, please try to pay attention. I'm a little unorganized. I need help, legal help. I got the documentation. I need legal help immediately. I always need it, but I had these deadlines. I sent stuff up to the media. The United States Supreme Court has violated all my constitutional rules, civil liberties, laws. They have violated all. I don't have freedom to the press with this. I don't have freedom of speech. Don't have a right to bear arms, even in a war zone. I don't have a right to own no homes. I have rights to no medical assistance. But these people say I do. So I've exhausted all domestic remedies going to the international community. Let me get to this whistleblower case. 2014, 2015. I'm a full-time worker at the Department of Human Services in Chicago, Illinois on 5099. 10-year veteran. Been working for the state for 10 years. And we had some financial issues with Lisa Madigan and Michael Madigan. People in Illinois hit the lottery, kind of thing. They had problems paying. They didn't have no money to pay them. They was just taking their stuff like, we ain't gonna know it. People going to get a lawyer, you gotta argue with them for 2 years. Just stealing. They just stealing. Stealing for nothing. Got everything. Everything yours. What you gonna take from your own self for? I said, man, this is amazing. Whistleblower case. Election had came up between Governor Bruce Rauner and Michael Quinn, Illinois. A gentleman asked me, "Hey, bro, who you voting for?" I said, "I'm voting for I'm skipping. Going to the state of Illinois. Whistleblower case. Stay with me. U.S. Treasury Department here in D.C. made some major decisions. They terrible. Conspiracy theory at its finest. Them asked me who's up. I said I'm voting for Bruce Rauner. And it's like the ice wall in North, the ice wall in Antarctica just melted when I said I'm voting for Bruce Rauner. I'm talking to a gentleman, this female interrupted my conversation and said, "You voting for a darn Republican?" I'm like, this is me. I vote. Vote for whoever I want to vote for. Vote for people's now. They ain't doing no good. What's wrong with voting for somebody else? That's your personal decision. Anyway, like I said, the ice walls in Antarctica melted in the office. And they called their superiors and their bosses and just teamed up on me. I had to defend myself. Because I said I was voting for Governor Bruce Rauner, a Republican. A young lady went ballistic on me. And words led to one another. And I told her she needed to go back to school to get her some education. And people was looking at me like I'm arrogant. She was an upper mobility person with a high school diploma. But she still had a brain. She still could do the work. Just tension just broke loose, and they pinched a nerve in me. Pinched a nerve in me. Anyway, state of Illinois owed me money. I never received my pay step increase from step pay grade 9 to pay grade 10. I was terminated due to a whistleblower case where President Bill Clinton initiated a program called TANF, where the objective was to get people off food stamps and back into the workforce regardless of their background. And when President Clinton initiated this program, the young lady, I don't know, she from Arkansas, Mississippi, put her in the suits, gave her a job at the bank. It was like 94, 95. No, 96. 1996, called TANF. Get off food stamps, get back to work. And I started working there as an employee 2006. Yeah, 2006. Started working there for 10 years. I'm gonna tell you about this whistleblower, the complicity of it. So we get into a heated argument, me and this young lady on the job. I left it alone. Months went past. Tension still there. I decided to put a Christmas tree up in my cubicle. Put the Christmas tree up in my cubicle. Trying to get into the spirit, Christmas spirit. It was about 4:30 in the afternoon. Young lady started making comments about my tree. Hey y'all, look, he got a full Christmas tree up in his cubicle. I put a Charlie Brown tree up at my house. I said, why you always in my cubicle? I was just already, it was already for pride, attention, angry. I already some attention, now you talking about my Christmas tree. She used to come cut the stove on and just boil my blood. Man, there's people notorious at that. They good, they masters at that. I'm impressed with myself on how I maintain my composure as a U.S. citizen. Trying to apply to most rules and regs. No, nobody's perfect. But anyway, back to this whistleblower case. She said, hey y'all, look, he got a full Christmas tree up in his cubicle. He ain't got no gifts on this tree. I put a Charlie Brown tree up in my house. I was already angry. I said, you chose to put the Charlie Brown tree up in there. Why is you always in my cubicle? I said, you know what? As a matter of fact, I got some gifts under my tree at home. I got you a gift. The co-worker looked at me and said, well, y'all don't like each other. What type of gift you got her? I told her I got her one of them electric no-nos to get some of that hair off her face. To cut that beard off she was growing on the side of her face. Oh, my God. Boy, they laughed at her for about a whole 2 weeks or more. She waited 30 days and went and told the minister I was going to bring a gun to the office and kill everybody. Starting with the women first. Put me on a workplace violence investigation. I don't know what it is the state of Illinois Justice Department has said about me in my reports. Justice Department won't give me no reports. That's another lawsuit on Mexican Fuck. The U.S. Justice Department for $1.5 billion. People, American people, y'all got to make this happen. Please help. I can't do it by myself. And I'm sending all these cases up to the United Nations. Why is they talking about killing me? Because you didn't do it wrong. You killing me because you lied. I got to walk around my country afraid to live. You got to walk around my country afraid to die. And while I'm speaking right now, I have a Social Security hearing tomorrow morning. They're trying to take my Social Security funding. I'm 100% disabled. Social Security Administration tells me that I don't have to have no doctor statement. I'm going to get into that later. Back to this whistleblower case. Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois gave the directive not to investigate the case. Open up the door for institutional racism. The case went through appeal on the grounds of unilateral down before the U.S. Court of Appeals, Supreme Court. Then U.S. Appeals Court dismissed it on technicality. Supreme Court didn't want to hear the case. Exhausted all domestic remedies. U.S. Treasury whistleblower case. They folks been giving them food stamp people's $20 every month. From 1996 to 2016, didn't get people enough. And people was on TANF all throughout the United States. This is a major whistleblower TANF case. Guess who was in charge of the funding? The Social Security Administration. Notorious. U.S. Social Security Administration, notorious financial takers under the U.S. Treasury Department's jurisdiction. And who owns the U.S. Treasury Department? The Federal Reserve. This is amazing. They owe me money. When I stated that these folks been giving these people $20 every month because the administrator, the regional director came into the office over these young ladies' nonsense and tried to write me off. She stated I was giving clients bad service as a caseworker. Took it personal. Still I'm giving them bad service as a caseworker. Where's this money that we supposed to be giving them? It's the whistleblower case, separate from the military case. She tell me I'm going too far. U.S. Treasury Department panic. Lisa Madigan, U.S. Attorney General of Illinois, took off and resigned, took off running. I don't understand how Michael Madigan in Illinois is still got his fingers in anything financial. On a court docket. Power. Well, alien-like power. These are alien beings. No man has that type of power. Not even President Donald Trump. No man has that type of power. These are alien, dominant powers. These people's owe me. I guess I'm saying, in other words, these aliens owe me money. And they said before I get another dime over their dead body. They just scared John Roberts at the United States Supreme Court. Well, my case was at the Supreme Court. What was that? September 25th, 2025. There's a gentleman named Scott Harris. Scott Harris, standing over me. I wrote on the ground in some chalk, Ruth Gator Ginsburg, her favorite case, my docket number case. He was standing on, he was taking pictures of me at the Supreme Court. He was standing on me at the Supreme Court in September. He did like that. Like if he wanted to spit on me. I'm saying to myself, extremely disrespectful, extremely racist. A Harvard graduate. Harvard University is producing institutional supremacists. That's what they produce. Scott Harris is to never, ever become Supreme Court Justice. He shouldn't even be working there. He's Jewish. And turn around and tell you anti-Semitic. And he's Catholic. Look at the mixture. Judaism by blood. Assumed by blood. And Catholic by religion. This is interesting to me as a person. No matter which corner you turn, it's like a trap. You ain't getting just beat by one side, you getting beat by both sides. Same concept with Republican and Democrat. You ain't just getting beat by one side, you getting beat by both sides. This whistleblower case. I thought this was just happening in Chicago. This was nationwide. United States federal government owed me money for this. Social Security Administration was in charge of the they've been stealing. Social Security Administration is under the U.S. Treasury. And the U.S. Treasury is under the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve is under the deep state. It's all connected. The institutional racism towards me as a U.S. citizen has come out to the United States White House. President Joe Biden has indicated, if I go back to the United Nations, they'll kill me. I repeat that. Whistleblower case. Man, people, I need you all to get your calculators out, add this up, how much they people supposed. See, we dealing with statistics now. So they could say they gave 20 people in 1 year's time or 1 month such number. You got poorly statistics up for 20 years, and $20. Oh. I may be close to unprecedented U.S. trillionaire off a whistleblower case. But see, they write laws that they don't honor. Look at your whistleblower case. Lieutenant Colonel Vindman was fired from the White House. They didn't just fire him, they fired his brother as well. Eric Snowden had to leave the country to Russia. Alfred and John Marshall Legal Law School tells me it's on one that I'm still walking around. These people owe me money and refuse to pay. I got all these different distractions. Social Security Administration, life insurance policies. You done took a $100,000 car. You done turned my family against me. This is pain and suffering. Psychological tormenting. tormenting. The first 4 nations that I'm going to ask for, and I have a right to retrieve, to hear this case at the United Nations. I'm going to give you 4 nations, but let me finish this whistleblower case up. All these countries, we worried about Navalny, what's going on with Navalny over in Russia. Brittany Griner over in Russia. They worry about the Chinese tennis star. Nobody's concerned about Ricardo Haynes, whose life is at doubt. You worry about the Saudis, the Khashoggi journalist who was chopped up, but nobody concerned about Ricardo Haynes, but me. So wherever it is that, I accomplish economically, stay away from me, please, and let me live my life freely. Houses, cars, diamonds, food, everything that you like. But before I get another dime over your dead body, I want this gentleman taken out from under the White House, stripped him of his clearance. He dealt with the whistleblower case and the military case. It's a deep state member, very powerful. I'm not trying to fight you. I talk a lot of trash. I've said a lot of derogatory, racist things out my mouth. So have they. With this phone call, President Joe Biden stated that they'd kill me if I go back to the United States. I'm going to tell you when he did it. The same week he called Peter Doocy from Fox News an ignorant SOB on a live mic. Same weekend. That same weekend, some of Trump military officials ended up resigning from the White House post or assignment. It's not just them. There's others as well. They stronghold. APO 09162 and the gentleman in Boston and Cape Cod talking about cutting me and my son out. I didn't want these individuals stripped of their clearance. Sergeant Major Bowers had a strong connection. Dick Cheney, strong connection with APO 09162. Anything leaving from out of the United States or coming into the United States, stopping in New York City. Strong, strip these individuals, they clearing. Floyd Austin, if you're listening, American people, if you can help get this over to the Secretary of Defense, these people need to be terminated and stripped of all clearances. United States Supreme Court has aided and abetted these individuals. We don't want to hear the case. You don't have jurisdiction. I respect and honored that. Gave you a respect. Even though you didn't follow the rule of law. Give me some credit now. You didn't follow the rule of law. They brought up issues of morals and values, in which I found to be ironic because I can argue and debate with 1,000 people on their cultures, doings and abominations and whatever terminology you want to come up with. If you want to say anti-Semitism, in which I think is anti-Semitic itself. Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Ola, 19th Engineer Battalion, Saudi Arabia and Iraq, committed war crimes against me, and he was Jewish by blood. I made a comment, his soul's gonna burn in hell right next to Adolf Hitler. Gentleman got upset. You can't talk about these peoples. If they do wrong, they commit a sin, they doing something illegal, you're anti-Semitic. This is amazing. It's what they call psychological tormenting. On the physical realm, you're not allowed to talk about their wrongdoing. The churches. The church is a weapon of warfare. When it comes to beliefs, it's a weapon of warfare. American people, the United States federal government owed me for this whistleblower case, which is in the trillions of dollars. Internal Revenue Service didn't want to hear. Senator Dick Durbin, the U.S. Treasury Department, the Trump administration, William Barr, Jeff Sessions, none of these attorney generals. I got the documentation. Y'all call me, please. I'm sending this case up to the United Nations. Got a monumental whistleblower case, I believe is worth, probably on the grounds of a lawsuit, U.S. Treasury Department. I have a right to sue for $1.4 trillion. This is how big this is. They say it's a wonder I'm still walking around. Me being held as a prisoner of war in Iraq. $3.5 billion. The lawsuit against the U.S. Justice Department, $1.5 billion. I also demand that James Lindell in Wisconsin, who sold my $100,000 Hellcat, I was being respectful to him, asked him for $352,000. He tell me he ain't paying me nothing. U.S. Justice Department sent them, they owe me money on that. And then Senator Dick Durbin for withholding an $8.5 billion purse that was left financially, that the White House stopped and blocked everything. In addition to that, to the federal government, on the track all veterans programs down, they sold money of some exotic video footages that they archived at the National Records, National Archives. They archived there. Made money around the clock off of me. Senator Dick Durbin. That was track down all U.S. veterans. There was some film producers that was making a movie of me. They go, some more money. Man, these people owe me so much money, I don't even know my net value. But give me what I asked for, and that's final. And I do ask for a national hockey team inside of these United States as a sole owner that I would like to put in Madison, Wisconsin. Remember, I'm abusing funds. While I'm abusing funds, you stealing funds. They don't just owe me for the whistleblower case, they owe the American peoples as well. They can't pay that back. They ain't paid the $30 trillion they in debt in. They ain't even paid that back yet. These people owe me money. American peoples, I need your help. Once again, give me a call, area code 202-279-1255. Please feel free to call. I need you all's help. Send this over to the Washington Post. Send this over to the New York Times. If you can't send it for me, I'm going to write them anyway, but I haven't been getting no response. Send this to USA Today. Need you all to help me. And even if you got to do it in secrecy, and manure, get somebody else to do, I still need your help. Lastly, send this over to Antonio Guterres at the United Nations, because there's no need of me writing in the U.S. no more. People like, man, you took all this time? Mind your business. Man, your business, please. If you can't help all these opinions, that's how fighting starts. But I'm trying to be one of the good guys, even though I'm one of America's most hated. These people owe me money. Internal Revenue Service. I got a distraction coming up with the U.S. Treasury Department. They're trying to cut my Social Security benefits off. But I hear there's a 6-year rule of dealing with financial issues. So I guess I'll be sending this over to Ms. Janet Yellen with the U.S. Treasury Department that I filed in a timely fashion. U.S. Court of Appeals didn't want to hear the whistleblower case. Supreme Court didn't want to hear the whistleblower case. Lisa Madigan ran and did a flip off the state of Springfield building and landed accurately. They owe me money for the whistleblower case. I want the American people to be the jury for my case at the United Nations. Meet the press, Chuck Todd. I'm going to be contacting you. If not today, probably tomorrow. That's a percent of the Dick Durbin resignation. And a while, Speaker of the Paul Ryan ran from Conrad. He resigned it. You didn't know what was going on. My life was on the line. It still is. I need y'all help. But by me talking about these people that's in charge of this earth, they run the media. They control what goes on, and I'm not allowed. So as a U.S. citizen, Which I feel I have a right to declare my American independence. They have denied me of my rights. My rights has been denied, and I'm a U.S. war veteran. Denied the U.S. war veteran of their rights. This is how shameful and embarrassed these people are. They lost a family home. They took a Cadillac Eldorado, 1999 Chicago from me. I was falsified, talking about I had all these tickets. They robbed me blind, American people, and I need my money right now. And the little funds that I do have, they're trying to cut this off. But see, they don't know how to leave well enough alone because they have to kill me. I'm on death row. I'm gonna end this video on Veterans Day. If you try to track these videos down, I prefer for you to check YouTube first. I'm gonna title this video as Operation Kindergarten. And send this over to Antonio Guterres because I have exhausted all domestic remedies on the grounds of death threats via the Department of Defense, U.S. Treasury Department, Social Security Administration, and the White House. And thank you very much.